Alright, so I've pretty much been a huge Coen Brothers fan for as long as I can remember, but it's time to see if that magic is still there when only one of them is sitting in the director's seat. Let's talk about driveaway dolls. What's up, guys? I'm Sully, and today we're talking about the brand new crime comedy directed by Ethan Coen, Driveaway Dolls. All you need to know about this one is that the story goes like this. Jamie regrets her breakup with her girlfriend while Marion needs to relax. In search of a fresh start, they embark on an unexpected road trip to Tallahassee. Things quickly go awry when they cross paths with a group of inept criminals. So I'll start this one off by saying that I have always been a pretty big fan of the Coen brothers. No Country for Old Men, that's a top 10 movie ever for me, but they also have so many other epic projects under their belt like The Big Lebowski, Fargo, Raising Arizona, and a whole host of others. So even though we only get Ethan Coen behind the camera this time around, naturally I was pretty excited to see what he was going to cook up next. And after actually witnessing this film for myself, I am beyond overjoyed that this famous director dynamic duo has decided to get back together and will make more movies in the future, because I really don't know if either of them are capable of creating anything all that spectacular when they're on their own. The long and short of it is that Driveaway Dolls really felt like it was somebody trying to do their best Coen Brothers impression more than anything else, and that's super disappointing. I went into this one expecting it to be a raunchy lesbian crime comedy, and that's definitely what I got, but unfortunately, the movie just doesn't have that same level of polish to it that I've come to expect from anything that's been touched by the Coen brothers. The jokes weren't really landing too often, the dialogue seemed like it was overwritten, and the characters didn't end up being all that memorable. It just seemed like this script needed another pass, or someone should have been brought in to hone it all in a little bit. Don't get me wrong, there are some big laughs and outrageous moments sprinkled throughout the film here, but there are a lot of aspects actively working against the movie's success in my eyes. The performances in this film was not one of them though. I thought everyone involved here did a pretty solid job with the material that they were given. Margaret Qualley seemed to be out there giving her best Miley Cyrus impression for the duration of the film, but in a movie like this, that type of character feels right at home. And there's definite chemistry between her and Geraldine Viswanathan. Their dynamic and how they play off of one another is far and away the highlight of the movie. I have to say, I think the rest of the cast was kind of underutilized. You have heavy hitters like Matt Damon and Pedro Pascal in the mix, and it's great seeing them pop up and play these kinds of zany and exaggerated characters, but they're pretty much on screen for a total of 7 minutes combined, and I feel like there was a lot more room for them to chew the fat and deliver up some laughs and thrills along the way if they were allowed the time to do so. Now, getting to the technicals here, this movie might have the most frustrating editing style of any film that I have seen this year. And mind you, I just saw Madam Web a couple of days ago, so that should really tell you something. But the way in which we get from scene to scene in Driveaway Dolls left me scratching my head for the entirety of the movie. There are transitions that seem like they're right out of iMovie, sequences ended before it seemed they should, and there are random psychedelic slideshows that take you right out of the moment. It kind of left me feeling the way I felt after watching Paul Thomas Anderson's Inherent Vice. If you haven't seen that film, it basically follows a detective in the 70s that's high all the time, and it's pretty much incoherent in nature because of that. One of those movies that's a lot more concerned about the journey at hand than the actual destination. And I'm someone that wanted to become invested in the story and the central crime that was supposed to be propelling the plot forward, but clearly Ethan Coen had other plans here. I'm always saying that movies are kind of becoming too long now, and that not everything requires a runtime of over 2 hours, but that's how you know we have a real problem here. Because this movie is under 90 minutes long, and I still felt like it was actively trying to find a way to overstay its welcome. That's no bueno. Overall, guys, Driveaway Dolls was a pretty big disappointment for me. I went in expecting a signature Coen Brothers crime comedy with memorable characters and a compelling story, even though we only got one half of the famous director duo here, but I left the theater baffled by some of the choices that were made from an editing, pacing, and story perspective. If you're someone that likes when a director is more invested in meandering around in this world they've created, rather than giving the audience a cohesive story to latch onto, maybe this will have something for you, but it was a flop for me. Driveaway Dolls gets a Sully score of 2 stars. So that's my review of the new crime comedy from Ethan Coen. What do you think is the best Coen Brothers movie that we've ever gotten? Not an easy choice to make, but let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys at the next one.